Your thralls in Conan Exiles just got a massive buff. The down but not out system is finally here, and today I'll be giving you all the information you need to know on how to keep your precious followers safe. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, what is down but not out? Also known as DBNO, this is a new mechanic in Conan Exiles to keep your followers protected. When your followers' health hits 0, instead of dying, they'll drop into a downed state, where you can bring them back to their feet to continue fighting or to retreat. However, there is a lot more to this mechanic, and if you're not careful you can still lose your follower. Let's look at the mechanics more in depth. Firstly, DBNO does not work on all followers. It functions with human thralls, animal pets and mounts. However, it does not work with golems or zombies, and I believe that is intentional, not a bug. So when your thrall's health hits 0, they will drop into a downed state where they lay on the floor. At this point, they can't fight back, and enemies will not target them, but they can still take damage if an enemy or a player attack manages to hit them. This is the downed state, and they'll gain a new health bar according to what tier of thrall they are, with better tiers having more health. This health will slowly tick down at a rate of about 1 health per second, and when it expires, they will just die. Think of this as effectively a bleed out timer, and when a downed thrall is hit by a player or an enemy NPC, that timer will go down as the downed follower will lose bleed out health. How long your thrall can last on the ground is pretty simple. Tier 1 thralls take 14 minutes to bleed out, 16 minutes for tier 2, 18 for tier 3, and 20 for tier 4, so to be fair, plenty of time to pull them back up. You'll also get an on-screen notification if your follower gets down. There's also a very distinctive yell to notify you, which works basically as an alarm to tell you that one of your thralls is down, whether they're following you or not. However, you will only get the notification for your active follower. When you approach your follower, you've got 2 options. Tap interact to pull them up with whatever combat behaviour settings they had before going down, or hold interact to pull them up and have them follow you. Either invokes a short animation, maybe a couple of seconds, which is a rallying cry that revives the targeted follower and any other followers that are downed within a 15-metre radius around the target. Hitting revive is not just an easy win. The rallying cry can be interrupted by an enemy hitting you or by you moving, so you're not locked into an animation and taking damage whilst reviving, but you can't just revive willy-nilly. Your thrall will then come back to their feet at roughly half of their maximum health, so they're not back to full strength, but it should hopefully be enough to either finish the fight or get you out of danger. As soon as your thrall goes down, they get a strike, represented by an icon above their health bar. Each red segment around the skull in the centre of the icon represents a strike. When the thrall reaches 3 strikes, the 4th down they take will kill them outright, so you can't continually revive a single thrall over and over again. However, strikes will expire, and they expire simultaneously after 15 minutes without being downed, so if your thrall has 3 strikes and manages to stay alive for the 15 minutes, all 3 will be wiped at once. Additionally, if your thrall has 2 strikes and gains a 3rd, the 15-minute timer is automatically refreshed regardless if they had 14 minutes or 14 seconds remaining on their strikes. There is no visual indicator for the status of the timer, so either you have to roughly track it yourself or just wait for the icon to disappear. Additionally, if you're a server admin, you can enable or disable down but not out through your server settings, and I believe it's always on by default. So now that we know how it works, I think the ultimate question for most will be this: is down but not out actually good? I definitely think so. Given I don't do much combat and I do even less with followers, but I've seen many times about how bad it feels to lose a good thrall, especially one that you've struggled to find, or it might just be one that's special to you. Whilst you can always mitigate risk to some degree by taking care of your thrall, there's always a not insignificant risk that they'll fall victim to one of various things, whether that's taking more damage than expected, accidentally aggroing too many enemies and getting jumped, or various bugs like fall damage or getting stuck. There are many ways for your thralls to suddenly get killed with no real counterplay or preparation that could have prevented it. If it's just a tier 1 Defari fighter, well, you've not really lost that much, but a geared tier 4 thrall that you've had for a long time, that feels much worse. That being said, even if it is a tier 1 thrall, it still feels like a kick in the teeth to lose them to something you couldn't anticipate, especially if it's a bug. Down but not out provides a very useful and generous safety net to protect your thralls, whilst the strike system ensures you can't just continually rush content and pull your thralls up endlessly. So to finish things up and recap, when your thrall hits 0 health, they'll go into a down state where they'll slowly start to bleed out. NPCs will ignore them, but any incidental damage from them or intentional damage from players will reduce their bleed out health. From there you can interact to revive them to half health and they'll gain a strike. After 3 strikes, the 4th down will kill them outright. Strikes expire simultaneously after 15 minutes, so once your thrall has stayed out of trouble for a while, they're free to continue on at much lower risk. I think Down But Not Out is a really good addition to the game and a super valuable safety net for PvE, and still probably quite useful for PvP. Overall, a much needed quality of life change that will make playing with thralls much less frustrating. And there we have it, all you need to know about Conan's new Down But Not Out feature, keeping your thralls safe and sound, at least for a while. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful, esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Conan Exiles guides, news, reviews, builds, lore videos and more. Take care, and I'll see you soon.